Welcome to Sunday Morning Quarterback with Jay Stockwell and Bob Frady.
Mama said there'd be days like this, my there'd be days like this. My mama said, what an awful day for Nebraska yesterday.
I can't even take it anymore.
Awful.
I can't even take it.
Like last year, you kind of knew the defense wasn't very good, so you're just kind of hanging on by your fingernails. And this year, you know the defense is freaking rock solid. And the offense laid a turd yesterday.
I think it's the worst offense in my lifetime. I don't remember a worse offense in my lifetime.
That's a lot of offenses. Boy, I tell you.
Yeah, I'm 59 years old. So it's like the worst offense. And look, we're going to talk about something today, and that something is accountability. Okay, we have an offensive coordinator who is also the quarterback's coach. Okay. And we have three quarterbacks playing exactly the same way. Okay.
What's that? My team wants the ball? No, let's throw it to the other team.
Yeah, exactly.
You belong in Nebraska, son. Come work with me. I'll make you do that even more.
So you have a defensive coordinator with the same level of athletes, okay, that can find a way to create a top 20 defense. Okay. You have an offensive coordinator and the quarterback's coach that is maybe the most inept I've ever seen. Okay. In 50 years of watching this program.
It is shocking the disconnect between what the offensive coordinator seems to think he has at quarterback and what he actually has. It's like I sometimes think he's just wishing that this play happens because it should happen with a reasonably good quarterback. And guess what? You don't have him.
And then there's just lack of situational awareness.
Yup.
Like, okay, you get Chuba in there. He drives it 90 yards. You've got a running back in Emma Johnson that's playing beautifully, right?
Defense is getting tired.
All you need is a field goal, okay?
Yep.
So don't run an RPO, right, and give a guy that hasn't played all year the opportunity to throw an interception. This is the same thing they did at Minnesota, okay?
Mm-hmm.
This team is 8-2 without coaching blunders. 8-2.
Well, listen, maybe, but let's just focus on one game, and that's the last game. You're on the 6-yard line. You're running the ball down the field. The defense is getting tired. Your offensive line is making some holes, and what do? You run stupid play, interception, stupid play. It's like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? And listen, I'm not a coach. I haven't had that kind of pressure, but I watched a lot of football over my years, 2 more seasons than you. And I'm like, this defense is lights out. You know, they're doing great. So what's the worst that happens? They come down and kick a tying field goal, we go to overtime. Big deal. Instead, we call plays that should not be, that lack situational awareness.
100%.
And someone has to take responsibility for that.
At SMQ, we are calling for accountability in the offensive coordinator and quarterback's coaching position. Okay. I don't know what that form of accountability is, but I think it's at the Matt Rhule level. I think it's at the Trev Alberts level. This defense has played enough. You should be more than bowl eligible. You should be 8-2 right now if you have even the semblance of competence at any level. This is a big Division I program.
You're babying the answer, Stockwell. Say what you want to say.
Well, look, this is the first year of a rebuild. I trust Matt Rhule. I trust Trev Alberts. But guys, it's pretty darn clear. We're business guys.
Yep.
We're donors, right?
I think about it this way. You know, if you're Matt Rhule, you're the CEO of the team. And your offensive coordinator is like the CMO, the chief marketing officer. If your marketing officer says, this is the strategy that we're going to use, but your product team delivers something else, then that CMO needs to go. Because you've been given plenty of opportunities to adjust, and you haven't. And you keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. I always tell my employees, Don't be afraid to make a mistake. But repeating that mistake multiple times, then we got a problem. Nebraska, we have a problem, and it sits in the office of the offensive coordinator.
And the quarterback's coach. Same guy. You got the same problem in two different roles. So
you know what Penn State did today? They fired their offensive coordinator. Why? Wasn't producing. It's like, I'm not comparing one program to another, but that's some accountability right there.
Yeah.
That's how you take accountability. And, the funny thing is Marcus Satterfield was recruiting Spencer Rattler to South Carolina. And he said, everybody thinks you stink. Everybody thinks I stink. Why don't we show them something together? Well, one half of that equation is now back. Marcus Satterfield stinks as an offensive coordinator.
Yep.
I got no problem saying it. I hate to say it. It breaks my heart to say it.
And they ran Casey Thompson out of town. They just ran him out of town.
That's water under the bridge. All we can do is focus on what happened just yesterday. And what happened just yesterday was that it was a boneheaded call. It was just a stupid call. How many Nebraska fans were like, just run the clock, kick the field goal, we'll defend him. Like, if
every single person on the planet was thinking the same thing. You got a golden kicker now, and this young kid from West Side. The kid can kick the ball. Take the field goal.
Yeah.
Take the points.
Even
Go
if
up
you
by
miss
3.
Even if you miss the field goal, they're still on the 10-yard line. So it's like this. Like, if you had taken a poll of Nebraska fans when it was first down on the 6-yard line, how many would have said, pass the ball at least twice during this three plays? The answer would be the guy in the offensive coordinator booth and nobody else.
Exactly. It would have been 99.9.
It would have been like a Russian election. It would have been, you wouldn't even believe that the results are real.
Yeah. So despite all of this, the Big Ten West is so bad.
We vented. We have vented. Okay. So now, are we going to try to be positive? Now we're going to keep venting.
Oh, no, let's be positive now.
All right, let's try.
This is where I was going. Despite all of this, the Big Ten West is still gettable. It's shockingly gettable.
No, it's
all
not.
We got to do.
It's not gettable.
It's
not gettable.
No.
It's theoretically gettable. It's theoretically gettable.
No. What's shockingly available is Wisconsin is playing terribly. Okay. And then we got Iowa at home. And who's not going to get up for that?
They play Illinois next week.
That's true. They got to lose. Illinois came back and beat Indiana 48-45.
Mathematically possible. It's mathematically possible. It is highly improbable. I am not concerned about winning the Big Ten West. I'm concerned about winning another game because what this coach has done offensively is crush the spirit of 3 quarterbacks. And how are you going to recover from that in a week?
You can't have 3 guys doing the same thing and it not be the coaching. It is the coaching. It is the coaching. Okay. And so sorry, Mr. Satterfield. I don't wish you any ill will, but holy smokes.
It might be great to have at a barbecue. Who knows? And not to come down on the coaching staff artificially. We knew this was going to be a rebuild. We knew that Matt Rhule's teams don't always go to bowl games in the first year. And if you'd have said, hey, we'd be 5-5 with a fighting chance of getting to a bowl game, most people would probably say, all right, we'll cross our fingers and hope for the best. But when you see this level of obstinance in the play calling booth, with calling plays for players that you wish you had rather than players you actually have, that's just bad decision making. And that will repeat itself season after season after season.
They did demonstrate the ability to learn, though. They didn't put Billy Kemp on the 10-yard and make him catch repeated.
Instead, they tried to throw him a touchdown in the end zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that kills me about all the tweaker apologists or tutor or whatever that thing is called, X, whatever, they're like, Satterfield doesn't run the plays. I'm like, but he calls the plays and he coaches the plays. But don't give me that bullshit that it ain't his fault. Entirely his fault.
Yeah, no, I agree. This one's all on the coaches. I 100%. Just like the stand there and catch the ball on the 10-yard line 5 times in a row in the previous game. That was coaching. Okay,
listen,
the offensive woes are coaching.
I like what Matt Rhule's doing. I really do. I'm very optimistic about the future.
Yes,
and I like the fact that he sits there and takes questions after the game. And a little truncated last night, but he faces the music. Problem is, I haven't heard Pete from Satterfield. He hasn't posted on the Twitter in since August. Maybe he doesn't post during the season. Who knows? But this is a guy that is beyond his level of competence in my book. Now next year, if they keep him and go 10-2, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. But like you gotta coach for what you have. You can't coach for what you hope you have, and that's a basic tenet of business.
Look, this is wild to see unfold. Like there's talent on this team on both sides of the ball. Okay. And we've got a defense that's being coached very effectively by Tony White. Very effectively. And I love, to your point, everything about Matt Rhule. Okay. But what I don't love is incompetence on the offense and a quarterback group that plays exactly the same way. All of them are doing the same exact thing. And they're, guess what, coached by the same guy. So there's a very, very, very common thread here, and that needs to be addressed. And I'll leave it up to Trev Alberts and Matt Rhule on how to address it, but it has to be addressed. No question.
To me, the competence question is a little smaller one because, listen, you don't have necessarily the players that you want. You got a lot of youth. You got some people out, yada, yada, yada. What kills me is the obstinance of a plan that does not maximize the talent of your team. And that is unforgivable as far as I'm concerned. Because, you want to think you got 3-4 seasons to milk your $1.4 million per year. It's like you're getting paid that much money. When you're one of the highest paid employees in the state, I think the second highest paid employee in the state, you gotta perform. And you can't go, well, I didn't have the players we wanted, You gotta perform. And Tony White's doing it. You ain't. So I'm so frustrated that, listen, if they had lost that game because they missed a field goal, or Maryland came down and scored a touchdown to win the game, or they lost it in overtime, I can live with those results. But you got basic. It's like I think that this is part of the analytics hoo-ha that sometimes happens. Like, analytics says we should throw a pass here. It's like analytics doesn't play the game. If the game's not played on paper, you play the game on the field. And analytics is probably right. You should throw it down there. It's like people who go for 4th and inches from the shotgun formation. Drives me nuts. Yep. It's like this is just not seeing what's on the field and responding properly. That's bad coaching. That's bad management. That's bad practice. And if they had malpractice insurance coverage for coaches, Satterfield wouldn't be able to get coverage. It's like, just wouldn't even get it.
Now, would you go so far as to make an adjustment during the remainder of the season?
Would I? Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm much faster to make those sorts of decisions. It's like, yes, I would. Because you know what? Same mistake multiple times means you need to find a new line of work or go work for somebody else who takes mediocrity.
Address the problem.
Yeah.
Address the problem.
Yep.
I mean, that's,
it's a big move. It's a harsh move, and you've paid a lot of money for this person. When you pay that much money for a person, you expect performance. If I'm going to pay $200,000 for some hotshot programmer, and he's like, well, I wasn't so good this year. Maybe next year I'll be better. I'd be like, no good, pal. Out. And so you pay for high-priced talent, you get high-priced performance. And if you don't get the performance, then because of the stupidity of the person, it just drives me nuts. Luckily, Wisconsin seems to have, taken a dump on its season. I don't know what's happening with them, and they have a chance. Iowa, I think that's going to be a tough game to win because, they're pretty tough on defense. and we don't have much of an offense, so with the final score might be 3-2 in that game. But you just too much money.
You want to hear a shock? Okay.
What's that?
I just Googled Satterfield's salary. Marcus Satterfield will make $1.4 million, becoming NU's highest paid assistant ever. The figure is also $500K more than he made at South Carolina last season. And defensive coordinator Tony White will only make $1 million.
Yep.
Guess how that's going to get addressed?
Oh, I'd be like, hello, this is opportunity in the name of Tony White's agent calling. Like, I get it. I get it. And listen, when you go to a new situation, you want to bring some of the people with you who helped make your old situations good. And Matt Rhule seems like a defense first kind of coach, and that because he played linebacker, he's good, but Satterfield brought with him. It's not working, man. It's not working. And so what are you going to do? You got to punt on this season and infuriate everyone and every living thing. But even when they were 5-3, we're like, man, in spite of this offense, we're 5-3. And now because of this offense, we're 5-5. And
it's
just sad. And you know what? My heart broke for Jeff Sims yesterday. I was really rooting for him. And he just did more of the same. It's like,
boy, I've just never seen anyone that it's so easy to knock the ball out. I mean,
it is just. Well, listen, you haven't seen me play. It'd be really easy to knock it away from me. I'm like a paper doll out there. You just throw water on me and the ball's loose.
I agree with you. He's a good kid. They
don't throw outs. Where's the out patterns? Where's the easy throws to the running back to let him go and get running? Where's the wheel route?
They tried a few of those.
They had a couple of passes in the flat, but the next time we have seen more interceptions than we have seen wheel routes or passes to the running back this year.
You know what? After what I saw though, I want to see more Chuba. Chuba looked like,
I don't know. He's hurt, so he's apparently has a groin injury that needs surgery, but that's just what I'm hearing. I don't know if he could hold up for a whole game.
Boy, he looked good. But Harburg to me is damaged right now. He doesn't seem to be like the same old self.
Something happened. It seems like something happened.
Jeff Sims seems fully healthy, but is like a turnover machine. If you played him a whole game, you get another 5 turnovers.
It's shocking. It's shocking.
Yeah.
I think that coaches should have $100,000 taken off of their base pay for ending up on the minus side of a plus minus. It's like, all right, you have 25 turnovers, you're taking away 12, minus 1.3 million, you get soup for the rest of the year. It's like, you don't mind paying those big bucks, but you got to have performance. And right now, it's non-performant.
So let's be positive for a couple minutes. So the defense. Still a very, very just
great,
like really positive story. They've won. They've played well enough to win every game but 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
They should be 8-2 right now. Emmett Johnson is a great emerging story, right?
Yep.
I thought if you'd actually throw it to low enough, our tight ends can catch the ball, right?
If you throw it to them, they can catch it.
Yeah.
Problem is they throw it near them, but not to them. And when you throw it to a tight end, you got to throw it to them. And
they're just high. They're just high.
Yeah.
Fedoni though looks like he looks like a serious tight end.
I did. Yeah.
There's some bright spots even on the offense.
Oh, there's nothing but hope for the future. There's nothing but good things coming. The frustration is, okay, let's say the next group of recruits comes in and they keep repeating the same dumb mistakes, because you've got someone in charge who still not going to have a quarterback next year. None of these 3 guys is going to be will probably be the quarterback next year. They may over the whole summer of training, they might, but these guys pick these quarterbacks. And so the person buying the groceries is buying groceries that are tough to eat and is putting them in meals where they don't belong. So what are you going to do? You can't fire all the kids, coach. bears responsibility.
There is a little bit of an accountability level due for Matt Rhule as well. There's no way that a CEO lets the guy throw a pass in that scenario. That was just a bad miss by the whole coaching staff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, if you get to 3rd and 7, I mean, you've shot yourself in the foot. First down, run it. Second down, run it. If you get nothing on 2 runs, if you're going to throw a pass, you throw it to the back corners of the end zone where no one else can catch it. That's where you throw it. You throw freaking slant routes, with an in cutter. It's like, what are you doing? What kind of a play is this? It's ridiculous. And if it doesn't work, you throw it out of the end zone. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. Throw it away. It's like everybody wants to be a hero and make all these hero calls. It's like, play basic football. If you had kicked a field goal, we'd have a bowling party right now. We'd all be so excited. But but knowing it was right there and having it yanked away by incompetence from the play calling booth is really the saddest thing. And I hate to keep beating the drum on this, but we've watched it game after game after game. They keep making weird calls. And, I wish we had the push-up bet this week. I would have won this week. Even though it technically would have been a draw because he went back to pass and then he scrambled for a run. But it's like, anyway, enough of that. We've been very positive all season long, and we're not going to bail on the team. But
we love our team. We love our team. We love our team. Are we going to the? Are we going to go to the game, Bob?
If they fire Satterfield before Saturday, they need.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
Hey, Penn State did it, and Penn State's a big-time program. They're like, hey, you got to perform. You're out. So, and listen.
Iowa did it too.
Here's the thing. I think that if Satterfield became available for free, that even Iowa wouldn't take him.
Yeah. Heck, I might even take Scott Frost right now.
Yeah.
Like, sir, just for offensive coordinator?
Yeah.
Just for offense.
He'd probably throw a bunch of bad plays just to screw with people.
Frost never had a defense. We got a defense now. I'd take Frost back for a game,
Yeah. I'd take Whipple back for a game. Jeez.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, we'll cross our fingers and hope for the best this week against Wisconsin. But here's what I'm afraid of if we go to a game in Wisconsin. If we go to the game in Wisconsin, it'll be just you and me. That's a bad design all by itself.
Well, what if we have a chaperone? Maybe
if we go to the game and they lose, someone's losing some teeth, and I'm not sure who it is. I don't really know. It's like we went to a basketball game together a couple of days ago. Or last week or so. And same thing happened. Same thing always happens.
By the way, the Timberwolves. Oh, man. 6-2, first time in 20 years.
Me and live sports are not a good combination because I am very clever and most people aren't, and they get upset with the amount of cleverness that's coming out of me. Like, how did you think of that? That was really insulting. I wish I thought of it. You're a jerk. I'm going to punch you. I'm like, all right, come on. So, because just not, no.
Timberwolves at Golden State tonight. And
listen, focus power. Focus.
Timberwolves 6-2, sixth in the West.
The N stands for knowledge, and what you need to know when you're on the 6-yard line is to run the ball. That's the knowledge that you need.
Hand the ball off.
Hand it off.
Hand the ball off. You're going to a bowl game.
Yep.
Hand it off. You're going to a bowl game.
Listen, if they'd have fumbled, we'd probably be crying about that. Why didn't they pass? But not this time.
Yeah.
Run the ball. Take 3 kneel downs for crying out loud. Run the ball. So anyway.
That's all we got.
All right, Stockwell. I think that we have a couple of days to shake this off and prepare for Wisconsin. The cheese curds are turning rancid right now, so it might be a good opportunity for us to get in there.
I'm going to look and see what the cancellation policy is on the hotel because we got to have a drop dead time.
Yeah,
I'm up for. The girls have already said they're not coming.
Yeah,
I'm up for.
Yeah, our wives are like, you want to go where? When?
And you want to do what?
What?
You want to watch this team that disappoints you every week, that leaves you crying?
The one that leaves you screaming at the end of each game, you want to go see them live? Yeah, I want to be part of that. We don't have nuclear fuel rods big enough to handle that. No. You know, I almost feel bad with how negative this cast has been. I really almost.
We are the paragons of positivity. We are the hope and the light, of Husker football.
But
we don't swear. We don't even swear on our podcast.
Well, we say some words that some people might be considered inappropriate, but they're not really. We don't use the good cuss words. We use the non-good cuss words. But even Pollyanna has a bad day. So
hey, what? There was one victory yesterday though. The Leisure Time Leslie threw down some chow. Oh my!
Leisure Time Leslie. She the carnitas. Ooh, yeah.
The carnitas.
Oh, something else good happened yesterday. Colorado dropped to 4-6. So who would you rather be? 5-5 Nebraska, or 4-6 Colorado.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
that's so good to see that group out there.
And the picture of Shedeur Stevens' Rolls Royce with the boot on it was hilarious because here's
Sanders.
Oh, Sanders, whatever. And here's the thing that shows.
What a moron!
If you're 20 years old and you can,
what a moron buying a Rolls Royce. What a moron!
It is. Even if you can afford it, what does it say about your decision making? It says you're interested in the flash over, doing something righter, and it's like I was like, man, really? It's like, listen, I could buy a Rolls Royce if I want one. I don't buy it because it's not practical. What do you do with it? Just drive around and have people look at you. That's pretty much it. It's like it's just a big sign to come assault me and steal me and take my money. It's like I don't care about it. Who needs that? Give me a freaking Chevy. I'm good. It's like just like, man.
Yeah, we both happen to drive Chevys, don't we?
That's right.
Yeah, Suburban. Yeah.
Tahoe and a Suburban.
Go Big Red. Go Big Red.
Well, they're 4-6, so there you go. If somebody said Shedeur Sanders was coming to Nebraska as a transfer quarterback next year, people would lose their minds. They would buy him. They would buy him 3 John Deeres, which he could trade in for a couple of Rolls Royces.
Can you imagine?
And throw him a party like no one's ever seen. Can you
imagine?
He's a great quarterback, man. Talk about someone with no defense.
Some quarterback in this country is going to want to come play here with this defense.
It's like if Rhule would have been like, oh my God. I mean, there'd be a lot of pressure. I get that. You're just a cog in the wheel at Georgia. Big freaking deal. You turn around Nebraska. Well, you can sell insurance in this state for the rest of your life.
Let's give that. Remember the parents we met at Minnesota, the kid from Sioux City? Well, I don't even know his name. Let's give him a shot,
I don't even know.
Just somebody that just won't lay the ball on the ground. I mean, we lead the nation in turnovers. The nation.
I was at Nebraska with you and your son, George, and I tried to throw him an out route from the 10-yard line into the corner of the end zone, and I thought my arm was going to fall off. It was just, it's really far when you're not there. It's like sometimes you look at it on TV, it's like, why can't he make that pass? It's like, go out there and try it. It's really far, and it's really hard to do. So, listen, nothing but love for the kids. It's like the kids are trying their best, but you got to have better leadership. And so with that, we still remain positive.
Hold on. Remember what Tom Osborne said. Like, for 7 years in a row, he lost to Oklahoma. 7 years in a row. And finally in 6 or 7 years. In 1978, they finally won 17-14. And then from that point on, things were a little better. And then they really kicked it in the high gear in the 90s. So Matt Rhule, I think this thing is completely on schedule. 8-4 is gone though, Uncle Bob. 8-4 is gone.
Yep.
7-5 is still a player.
That's
still
gone
a player.
too. It's gone too.
No, I know. I think it's still a player.
It's mathematically possible. Mathematically possible.
Yeah, I think by Wednesday our wounds are going to be recovered enough that we may want to jump in the car and take one of our Chevys down to Madison.
We'll see.
We'll just.
Hey, you know what, Stockwell? I'm actually blaming you for this loss. You know why?
Why?
Because at the end of our podcast, you went off script and came up with some crazy response And just like Nebraska did at the end of the game, they failed at the end, just like you last week.
What are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about.
GBR? Who says that?
Oh.
That was like a pass to the corner with 3 defensive people in front of you. So knock that stuff off. You ready? You want to do it? You want to do it right this time? Listen,
let's do it right.
You messed it up once. Don't mess it up again. Ready?
All right.
Go Big Red!
Go Big Red!
There you go. That's a learning animal right there. Jay Stockwell, everybody.